Okay, I might as well start. I might as well start for today. Might as well start. We got just a few minutes, but I can kind of explain what we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to speak a little bit about camps, especially up here in this part of the world. Give you a little bit of history on Camp Edna, so you got a little history of it. So if you're ever up near Bangor, up in this area, and would like to spend some time here, they have little apartments here. They have little apartments that you can rent, pretty reasonable compared to the season, for the season up here. So a little bit more reasonable than you would if you went down in somewhere and you rented some place. And you can enjoy the workshops, enjoy the speakers, because camp opens up. It has its startup day towards about the end of May. Now, what happens in the end of May is it starts to when they start to get the camp ready, get it open. And if anybody's been to camp up here, it takes a little while to get it open after the winter season. And then by about when you get into June, they start the programs for the coming year, which will take them all the way and past into September. And then right around the first or second week of September, then they start working at coming to a point of like October to start the because Camp Edna used to be a very large camp. It used to be a very large place. And what happened with Camp Edna many years ago was in 1922, a fire broke out here on Camp Edna grounds east of Pond Street. So Pond Street actually runs down the center of the camp, and 83 of the 131 cottages here were destroyed in the flames. So, so 83 houses going up in one fire. But back in that time, the houses here, the vibration here, the houses were like really close together. Everything was built really tight in this area. So when the fire broke out, it just raged through all these cabins. So now the cottages are, you've got quite a few still left here. Some are in need of repair, but quite a few cottages are still left here. So there's a little more room. They've put more room between the cottages now than it was before. So, but the camp had some really famous mediums here. The most famous one here in the camp was Mary Vanderbilt. She had an Indian guide named Bright Eyes, and she was from 1895 to 1919. She was here and part of this organization and working in this organization as a medium. Then you had, then you had, then you had. Here's a little picture of her. I'll put it up next to the screen. There are little postcards here I can show you. And then you've got actually Harrison Barrett. He was one of the major founders of this camp. He was here working it for most of his career, and he was actually one of those people uh, that that opened a church up in Bangor. There was a church up in Bangor, and it's still in process. I mean, through the pandemic, the church closed because of not being able to kind of keep the space. But there was the Harrison Barrett Church there in Bangor. So there's a large spiritualist church right there in the middle of Bangor. With that church, with that vibration, or with that church, it was a very awesome space to be. But the camp living, camp vibration, camp situations actually bring you back into the history of spiritualism. Back to when the camp was working and more of development, of classes, of healing, propelling energy in that direction. And that's really what spiritualism was about. It was not about us sitting down giving readings and doing that all day and doing readings. It was more of healing the spirit, healing the mind, healing the vibration. Camps like this with Vanderbilt and most of these people, Susan Anthony, Susan B. Anthony, a lot of the people spoke from the platform here at the church. They spoke here at the vibration. They spoke here at the church. So they actually spoke here at the church in Edna. So it came to a lot of the vibration of allowing a lot of the stuff to appear here. Because the women at that point were allowed to speak from the platform, allowed to speak from this platform and here in the church. So it gave them a voice. And a lot of the early spiritualists they were in women's movement, the removal of slavery, a lot of major causes in the day, major causes in the vibration, major causes in the day. So there was a lot of energy here of searching out causes. And that's what the women were here for. They were to search out the cause, get things fixed, put things in motion. They were allowed to speak. And some of the women today would say, well, we were able to speak, but not in the day. They were not allowed to speak from public platforms. So women had to they moved into the spiritualist religion. And most of the women, there were mostly women as spiritualist mediums and healers. It was mostly a women's kind of situation or vibration with a women's situation. So a lot of it is a lot of the things with looking about camps and spiritualism and working in that direction, because we have individuals tell us that they are spiritualists. They are this connection to spiritualists. They are this connection to that. Spiritualism really is kind of a religion of connection, of vibration of connection to situations in people's lives, connection to religious situations, of allowing people to find their 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 vibration within their life, their connection to their higher self. We're never taught really in this religion, and I try to teach it to individuals, that a lot of people are looking to get in touch with their past lives. They want to get in touch with past lives, where they were. They want to get in touch with the guides. They want to get in touch with loved ones. But I don't get too many people that come in my office and ask me, I'd really like to speak to my higher self, my higher vibration, my higher self. And if we allow ourselves to find that connection within our lives, that direction within our vibration, then where are we going to be if we don't really know where we're at? And that was a little bit of my talk today, because when I was working up here many years ago, Raymond Mooney was here, and he had his Zachariah and a mirror, and sitting in a dark room with a mirror and trying to bring spirit through, allowing you to be one with a space. And I remember a lot of the studies and things I did here in Camp Etna were a lot to encourage my spiritual growth, my connection to me. I'm going to do a lecture tomorrow about the 7-day candle. And if people understand what I mean by that, because all of us, we pick our vibration within our lives. We have our little 7-day candle. And at a certain point, we light that candle. Some of us might only have a couple of colors in that candle. And some of us might be just really flamboyant. We got a whole bunch. But that candle will still burn through every single one of those layers until we eventually go back to the spirit world. And if we aren't in connection with our higher self, our higher vibration, we lose sense, or we lose direction. If we're only waiting for Uncle Bob and Cousin Bill to come in and help us, we might have a little bit of an issue if they didn't know exactly how to manage that. So we have to realize that a lot of this whole situation, with the history of spiritualism, the history of this, the history of the religion, philosophy, different things in the vibration, you have to allow yourself to find that direction, that vibration within your life. You have to allow yourself to connect to that situation. It's that the religion, you might not agree with the religion of spiritualism, might go, oh, I don't like that. But the philosophy might intrigue you, or the science of it, the connection to spirit, finding spirit, connecting to spirit. We have so many tools now of with seeing orbs and listening to voices from the spirit world, to having all this stuff at our fingertips that we didn't have back in the 60s, back in the late 50s. So we didn't have that when this camp was actually founded. We didn't have all these tools that we could personally use to prove the continuity of life. We had the mediums proving the continuity of life, but we didn't really have us proving the continuity of life as through machinery. But we have that now. We have this whole connection, this whole vibration connecting to spirit now through other avenues, through other vibrations and through other avenues of spirit. Now, what we have to do in our lives is to figure out exactly how we find our passion. Because with the history here in this room, somebody said there's all this cardboard on the ceiling. But the cardboard on the ceiling is actually boxes and an advertisement of the day. These are boxes that are actually found in some of the abandoned homes, things that were saved from different directions in the vibration. So a lot of the stuff has to deal with a lot of the vibration with spirit. So a lot of the connection with spirit, a connection to higher self, higher vibration. So that's what you're really looking for. You're looking for that connection to your higher self so that you can personally communicate with spirit. So you can personally communicate with that connection of spirit for you, not just to go ahead and say, Lewis, I'd like you to connect to my guides. I'd love, Lewis, for you to connect to people in my life. I'd love you to connect to me. Um, Allowing you to connect to yourself. And that's true, as I've said here, with the vibration is more through meditation, connecting that space, that vibration around you, that essence, that bowl around your vibrations, allowing you to raise your vibration. I've said this before in the classes, the things I've taught here, is the seance room. This room, this museum is in this small room here. But the energy in here is completely awesome. All the artifacts and all the things in this small room, you can actually feel the presence of spirit in this room because it's a smaller space. Once the space starts to get larger and larger and larger, the energy of the space dissipates. It just dissipates the energy because the energy cannot fill the full space. So that's why you do in your room or in your house, you find that small space for you to set up your little altar, your space to sit, your space to connect to spirit. You set that small space up, that space in your home, that is your spiritual zone for you. So as you set that up, it connects to that sense of consciousness, that sense of well-being within your higher self. Allows you to raise your vibration. I could take you on meditation. I could take you to the higher realms of the spirit world. I could introduce you to the guardians. I can introduce you to God. I can do all that through a meditation if that's something you're looking for. But the question is you have to want to make the journey. I can ask you to meditate today. If you don't meditate today, I can't start the journey for you. You have to allow yourself to adjust to the journey, adjust to the vibration of the journey. You have to. I can put you there. We can give you all the tools. I think people here on this call today have got tools to get people to where they need to be. Through your life lessons, your life encouragements within your life, you have tools to get people to where they need to be. You do. But when Gloria Vanderbilt was here, her house is still here. It's still sitting here in the camp. It didn't burn down. It's called the Evening Shade. It was a really nice, really cool house sitting off here in the corner of Camp Etna. But I feel like the energy when you walk in that space, or you walk in some of the spaces some of these older mediums walked into and they sat into, they actually found that passion within their life, that passion within the vibration of being part of this, of being here. And that's really I want to teach people about spiritualism, but mostly about your own personal religion. What religion do you practice? What religion do you perceive you call to yourself? Then practicing that, raising the vibration, because all religions are good. The question is how you perceive them. When I was a kid, my father made me read the Bible frontwards and backwards. And I constantly made me do that throughout my life. So I almost became to a memorizing the Bible at certain parts of the Bible and understanding exactly how certain parts of the Bible worked, how they got put in motion. Then I started questioning the words that was in the Bible. How is that supposed to be that when somewhere over here in James is telling me something totally different? How can I believe that part when the other part? Because people will tell you that we're not supposed to speak to spirits. Don't you speak to those dead people. But Jesus talked to dead people. He talked to Moses, talked to you dead. They were across the spirit world. Angels from the spirit world came to minister to Jesus. So are we not to believe in angels? So the question here is, it's what we personally believe in ourselves, how we personally think of in our lives. What do we think of? What do we connect to for us? And I've said here in religions, we're still wear a lot of our stuff in our lives around our necks. We have the connection to spirit. We have the connection to our religion that we were raised in. Our parents, people in our lives, have parts of religion, parts of the vibration, parts of religion. So a lot of that situation within our lives, a lot of that connection within our lives has a lot to do with it. Because we are raised with situations within our lives, situations within the vibration. So we have to allow ourselves to find our true passion, our true direction in our lives. That's what we have to work on. Is finding that passion or that roadway or that trip to our higher self. To you. You can do yoga, and that could take you to your higher self. You could practice huna. You could practice a form of healing, take you to your higher self. You could practice meditation, still the same way. There's not one set course. There's not one set vibration that like, oh my God, I'm going to take that course. I'm going to go in that direction. I'm going to find that vibration. No, it's not exactly. The course is meant, there's one way, one trip, one journey to enlightenment. So I don't want people to think like, oh my God, I need to follow this. Follow what works for you. I will joke that we should follow the yellow brick road. It's going to either take us to the haunted forest or the Emerald City. But one or the other, we're going to follow the yellow brick road. Somehow, some way, we're going to definitely be on the road. But where on the road? That is the question that we need to ask ourselves. Where are we wanting to place ourselves? When I do meditations and I connect to spirit, I'm still in awe of what spirit can do. When I walked today, I walked down to Camp Edna's pond, large pond here, and just being in awe of that walkway down to the pond. There's railroad tracks down there where the train used to stop and drop people off from all over the country to come here and practice spiritualism. So they would make the track from those railroad tracks to the very far end of this camp, up through the woods, up into the camp, up into the organization. And that's awesome. It is the power of the space. Because when you feel the energy of the space, where people, like even in Casadega, Florida, you walk in the Davis Hall and you're holding a spiritual event. How many spiritual events have been held in that space, in that vibration, in that space? How many message services have been done? How many healing services have been taking place? It's the energy that resides within the floorboards and the walls of that space. And that's when I tell people, just meditate in your space. Your space will take on that energy, that vibration, not mostly just from this lifetime, from lifetimes past. You know why spiritualists say the the 9 principles. We do that every Sunday service. We say the healing prayer. But could you imagine back in the 1800s when they were doing these things from reciting this in every service? So you're talking for the last, what, 140 some years, the healing prayer and the 9 principles have been announced and recited from the platform. What that does in the spirit world is it allows us people in the spirit world, they hear you. And there is a chorus of people reciting that from the spirit world when you do that. When you do affirmations, and someone in the spirit world hears you, and they have done those affirmations, they have done those. They join you in chorus from the spirit world. So that chorus of energy, that chorus of vibration, going back some hundreds, 200 years, we can go all the way back to Swedenborg when he was traveling into the spirit world. Some people don't even know it, but there in Lake Helen, there is a Swedenborg church right there in Lake Helen. Most people don't know that. They don't know there's a Swedenborg church, and that's what took off of Swedenborg's teachings of his travels to the spirit world. So a lot of this energy is transposing ourselves in our lives now. Not like the veil is getting thinner. The veil is getting thinner because we're putting out a lot more energy than we did before. We're putting out more energy into achieving a communication with spirit. The veil has always been thin. We just haven't been concentrating on it. Now we're starting to concentrate on that connection to our higher self, our vibration. We're getting in more into wellness. You notice that most of the food that was junk food and crazy food is now being taken off the shelf. It's now all being replaced with healthy food because we stopped buying the junk food. So if we allow ourselves to stop taking in the junk, allowing ourselves to receive the good within our lives, then our energy field starts to go up. Because I don't, in my life, I've done this work for many, many years. I don't protect myself. I don't. Why? Because that puts me into a situation in my life now that I've already told myself subconsciously or mentally, well, I need to protect myself. I've already put myself in a situation that now, oh my God, I probably got to protect myself. But I'm not going to go there. So why bother? I asked for my highest and best for me, but that's all I asked for, my highest and best. I know my guides, people on the other side will protect me. Because when I talk about guides and people that are following you, it is the gatekeepers and the message bearers, the people following you from the spirit world. But there's also that chorus of people that listen to what you say, what you propel into the spirit world. That is the voice that we need to rearrange or reset within our lives, that voice that we put out. If we tell ourselves we're in lack, we're not going to do this, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, all we're going to get is, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. But if we start just slow, doesn't mean I don't have to make you do it real fast in your life. Go, well, Lewis, I'm going to get there in a day. I'm going to get there right now. Huh? No, I'm still working on it. And I've been doing this for quite a few years. I'm still working on the I am. I'm still working on the affirmations. I'm still doing that every day. I'm still focusing the energy. I'm doing it every day. I make a practice of it, a conscious practice of it. Whether you do mandalas or you do this constant walking or this conscious walking or conscious thinking, I call it, we have to be conscious of what we're thinking and what we're putting out into the spirit world. So that conscious thinking of where we are. A space like Camp Edna allows you to sit. We had people laying out in the front yard in front of the church here today. So there's a cottage here. I was doing a meeting and you could hear people upstairs knocking on the floor, just banging and knocking on the floor. like they were up there making noises. And I'm going, okay, guys, I know you're here. Stop making noises. soon as they said that, they stopped. Stopped making the noises and stopped messing. They're just around you constantly throughout your life. Constantly. Whether you believe that they're there or not. They are all you propel here. You are the ingredient part of the chapter of the book. Some of our life might be just a footnote in a chapter. It might not be the full chapter, but we're part of it though. But then our life doesn't have to be this. It could be those little things you do in your life that affects the spirit world in the most beautiful way. When you greet somebody, when you say hello, when you hug somebody, when you do these small little points of kindness. That is what spirit hears. You can make all the money you want, but it's not going to buy anything into the world of heaven. It's just going to be, your kids and people left behind will be spending it for you. So we can store all we want, but it doesn't really matter. It's that physical vibration with our higher self, getting on the same page, same direction as our higher self. How is my higher self? Who am I talking to if I've been here before? Who is somebody else talking to if I'm related to them? Talking to yourself. Your higher self is connected to all the lifetimes, all the incarnations that you've lived. So that higher self will speak and do the vibration. So it's when you treat yourself like the special creation you are. Don't beat yourself up. Don't tell yourself a whole bunch of negative situations. Don't tell yourself bad stuff. I know sometimes we have the urge, like thought before we do it. And that's what Spiritualism tries to teach you, to be that, to raise the energy, to make little spirit energy balls and throw them at people. We're teaching you how to do this stuff to raise that vibration within your auric field. Raise that. Not to raise mine. I'm not looking for you to raise my energy. I'm looking for you to raise yours. Because when you learn things from my teachings and other people's teachings, I don't want you to take every single thing that's in the YouTube and on the internet as gospel. Take what radiates to you. Oh, sure, you might not be on the same path with me or somebody else here, but you are on your path. And that's what you have to ask yourself. Are you on your path? Are you on your direction within your life? Of course. And every once in a while, you need to ask your guides that. Am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Am I here where I'm supposed to be? See if you can get an answer from your guides if you're where you're supposed to be. I know there are spirits in this room with us today. I know spirits are around here and they're listening to every word I say. Spirits never leave this place. They're around. They're not earthbound. Don't get all excited that I said somebody might be earthbound. They're not earthbound, but they do travel through here. They do travel through to look, to learn, they learn from us. People in the spirit world have evolved to go to the spirit world. We are here learning life lessons. And our lessons, our vibrations, our things that we learn here affects them to a higher sense of consciousness, because through us, they learn. And for us, we travel at night. We have our vibration at night as we travel our dream state. Spirit is downloading into our vibration. And I love when people say, well, I don't remember anything Spirit's told me. I was traveling, but I don't remember. Then you need to ask for a front row seat, for information. You need to ask them to propel you the information you need. And that's not what we get from, like, Spirit's not going to come in and just slap you on the head. Not going to really do that. They're not going to do that. But you've done something really crazy, they might. But most of the time, it's these symbols. Like today, when I saw that lady, the druid's vibrations, her vibration, were giving her feathers. And she found a feather. And there's other feathers that are vibration. So feathers have to have some kind of meaning, a connection to her, whether it's the type of feather she was getting, or maybe it's the color of the feather. But something with the feather has some kind of meaning to her vibration. That's what you're looking at. You're looking at what's appearing. If I say, if I say blue and you see a blue car, then you see blue again, then you see blue again. Somebody enters your life with a blue shirt. You should pay attention because you kept seeing blue, and now all of a sudden there's somebody standing in front of you with a blue shirt. This is just looking, watching the direction. If your guides don't want you somewhere, they will stop you. They will put stuff out in the path. They will try to trip you. They will try to adjust your vibration. They will try to stop you. But if they want you somewhere, they will move heaven and earth for you. They will move that. Be gone with that mountain, and that mountain will be gone. We have to allow ourselves to believe that that mountain could disappear. Whatever ails is in vibration, maybe you're ill, maybe you're sick, maybe you're not feeling well. Maybe you're going through a bad relationship. Maybe somebody just died. Maybe things are going on in your life. We always have to look and see, okay, this door is now closed. What is Spirit trying to open now? Not to dwell at the other side of the door and sit down and cry. No, we need a moment to mourn. We need a moment to mourn a loss in our lives. But we don't need 30, 40 years mourning that loss. We need to mourn it. But at the time that we're mourning the loss or mourning that vibration, what is Spirit trying to show us? Who arrives in our lives? What's showing up? Because when you lose something in your life, something gets pulled away from you. It leaves a hole within your vibration. Now, you can allow other people that you have a strong connection to, allow them to come and fill the hole with craziness. Or you can fill it yourself with what you feel is best for you. That's why when you have a loss or something in your life, or you have something that's happened in your life, don't be too in much of a hurry in your life to fill it. Don't be too much in a hurry to have somebody else fill the vibration. Don't be in a massive hurry here to make that happen. Give yourself time to get a view of the path ahead and to find that passion. When I was sitting out here in Camp Edna, when I was a kid, I used to play in front of the church here. And I remember the mediums. I used to walk around here, walk in the vibration and teach and instruct here. The same thing with a lot of spiritualist camps. I spent a lot of time running around the camps, playing, giggling. When I was a kid, I knew there was something going on, but a lot of the stuff when I was a kid, I could do readings, but I knew I was in connect, but the true story of what it meant to me wasn't part of it yet, wasn't part of the vibration yet, until I got older. But through that time, grandmother, Catholic, I had my Native American grandmother, I had spiritualism, I had Christianity, Southern Baptist. I had all these things going on in my home. So these things in my life made an impression. Didn't fill the whole vessel, but they did make an impression upon me. So these impressions that we get within our lives are still there. We might hide them, move them, rearrange them, but they're still there. So then when we go looking at like spiritualism, religion of spiritualism, we bring our other stuff with us. That stands at the door with us. We've got a little crucifix. We've got a couple of dream catchers hanging around our neck. We've got some other stuff going on around us, and we're heading in. But we bring what we learned in our life with us. So you're going to always be you. You're not going to change those pieces of you. You're not going to change that vibration of the pieces of your vibration. You're not going to change that. What you're going to do in your life is you're going to change how you feel about it. Not that it's there. Once you learn something in your life, it becomes part of you, part of your armor, part of your vibration. It becomes part of you. You learn what not to do, what to do. when not to go, when to go. You learn these things through your life. But if you realize that spiritualism allows you to be one with you, not one with many, one with you, because many will follow. If enough of us are gathered, there I am. And I've said this before in one of the lectures before. Where two or more are gathered, there I am. Where your higher self and you are gathered, there I am. It's you have that strong connection, that voice to the spirit world. You have that. You have that connection because you have that vibration. In the history of religion, of spiritualism, with George Colby finding a place in Castega, by the Vanderbilts coming here, building a big cottage here because she wanted to be a medium. And her father really didn't want her to be out here, but she wanted to be here. So she built a cottage here in Camp Etna. We had all these other mediums that came before us. The seers, the people that saw spirit, sat in seances and sat and listened to spirit all these years. And that energy is still part of us. Who says that one of you here isn't a reincarnation of some person from an old spiritualist camp that had already walked the path, walked the journey? We have to realize that we might have walked the journey before, and we're back to walk it again. You're here for a reason. There's always a reason. The destinations in our lives are not totally, completely picked, but they're arranged on the path ahead of you. It's how you arrive, how you see them, how you place them in motion, how you do them, and how you move past them. Is where you get to where you need to be. Because the energy, and I really wanted to talk really about if I had the camera here in the Camp Edna Museum. Because of the energy here that propels itself in this space, this connection of space, where people here in this organization would do trance from this space in these places in this church. So I could feel the energy of Lucerne wanting to speak just by being in this space, being in the vibration of this space. So that's why I said, well, people in different religions want you to go find a good group of people to be associated with. Find whatever people you need. But the more people are gathered in a space, the quicker, the easier it is for you to move to a higher sense of consciousness. Because you're not only just using your energy, you're using the energy of many. Not you, many. So that's why you get into small circles, you get into groups of people. You allow yourself to be immersed in those groups, to allow yourself. It's a little bit, could be a little selfish on your part. I love being in large groups, but selfish, but I'm there to raise my vibration. I want to try to help them, but I'm really there to raise mine. I'm ready to raise my energy field to a different level. And that's why you use the energy of the group to raise the energy field. Because we just finished doing a private group of seance there in Casadega. But where we were sitting in the room around the table, there were guides from the spirit world standing behind each and every person there. They were standing there working through them from the spirit set of life as the physical body was here, working with the table and working with the things around the seance room. So we had more than enough people in and around our vibrations. So when you have certain enough people, the vibration is everything in the situations within our lives. Everything connects with the vibration. Everything with the vibration comes in the vibration. Somebody's trying to come in. Everything comes into the vibration in my life through spirit. Maybe because I've listened to spirit most of my life. I've listened to spirit constantly throughout my life. Constantly. But I don't follow everything they say, kind of argue sometimes. I play a little argumentative because I don't think I should have to do that. But they keep pushing me in the direction they would like me to be. And I've come to concern after my life in my life to know that through my life, there's been aspects, situations within my life that I had to be there. I had to cross that path, cross that bridge to get to where I am today. Or that my whole life would have worked out differently. It would have been totally different in the vibration, totally different in the vibration if I would have been raised differently, if I would have had different parents, different vibrations going on in my household, different situations going on in my life. My life would have been a lot different, but my life worked out the way it was supposed to be. Sometimes we can argue about our lives and say, oh my God, this is not where I wanted to be. But it is where you need to be at this moment. But who says that you can't change the direction or the mode of travel that you have within your life? Don't look so discouraged. I tell people don't look so discouraged if somebody doesn't bring through a spirit, or you can't connect somebody from the spiritual side of life. Maybe they're still in training. Maybe they're still in training. It might take a while to come to terms with speaking. Maybe they just can't. My learners about here actually physically imagine a circle on the side, learn this on the surface line. A lot of issues like in our lives. It comes to a vibration within our lives that we have to realize that everything has a purpose. But the purpose is through our thought, through our connection. When people built this camp, their thought was to make a spiritualist mecca. Same thing with Casadega, Lilydale, New York, Harmony Grove. There's so many other places around. A lot of the camps now no longer exist. They have gone. They're no longer in working vibration. But there's still quite a few left in the United States that are still working, still running at this point, still running. So it's the energy that it took them to build this space so that women could have the right to speak, that they could go into causes, they could do all this stuff from a platform of, of mediumship, of working with spirit, of connecting seances, of speaking to people that are in the spirit world. A lot of the connections with our lives are mostly because we need to find our purpose, our vibration within our lives. We need to find that. We need to connect to that situation within our lives, our vibration within our lives, our connection with that. Our situation within our life is we allow ourselves to find that true vibration within our lives, that connection. We always have to realize that spirit is working with you, working with the consciousness within your life. Situations within your vibration are always there. Because with the museum, the parts, the pots that are on the pot thing, the glasses, the jars, the things that are here behind me. And I'm going to turn my camera a little bit. You can see the things on the tables behind me. People in the day touch this stuff. They had this stuff. They worked with this stuff. They had this connection. Their energy still resides in a lot of these things that are here, resides here. So when you touch it or you get close to it, you can feel the vibration. That's through psychometry. That's through the energy of the object, the energy of the energy of the vibration through spirit. A connection of the wood floor that all this stuff sits on. That's why when you do table tipping, you have a wood table. The table, the wood, is natural. It will actually absorb the energy from the spirit world. It will connect to the spirit world a lot quicker than some other made table. But when you do this work, it's more of finding what works for you, not what massively works for someone down the street. I've had most of my life, I've had people tell me horror stories of what was taught them, what was connected in their life. They believed it until I explained to them, and they looked at me and said, that makes sense. That just really makes sense. When I did the lecture a few weeks ago, and I told people, I said, you picked your name at birth. You picked it. So that has to be a conscious effort. You picked your name. You also picked the place of your birth. You picked it. You picked when you were going to arrive. You picked the time of your arrival. And you also picked your birthday. Those are things that you picked before you entered this earth planet. So there's a reason why you picked all those, to propel yourself in a direction when you hit the ground running here. So you picked all those vibrations within your life. You picked them. So they have to have a strong meaning. So you pick them. You go through all the spiritualist trainings, all the vibration. We're supposed to have picked our name, picked our birth, done all this stuff. But if we allow ourselves to look at it and say, yeah, so there's a reason why you're a Cancer or you're an Aries. There's a reason why you're that. There's a reason why your energy wanes probably in the afternoon or in the morning time because of the time of your birth. There's a reason why these things go on in your life because of your journey that you started when you entered the earth plane. Then you pick the people you were supposed to be with. You pick the relatives, the people, the situations that you were supposed to be with. So you pick those people. So if you allowed your connection to you, and that's what I'm trying to get across today. It's who are you? What radiates to you? Not what radiates to somebody down somewhere else, but you. The healing, the vibration. What radiates to you? What connects to you? Maybe if somebody did pranic healing on you, you might not like that. But you might like Reiki. You might like Huna. You might like something else. You might not like a certain type of healing. Doesn't mean it's bad. Doesn't mean that healing's bad. It just doesn't quite radiate to you. Same thing with mediumship. You might not want to sit and do tarot cards. Might not want to sit and do runes or I Ching or any other 5 forms of divinity that we do in our vibration. But there might be one thing you go, oh, I like that. That kind of connects to me. Didn't try that. You have to get past all the doors. If you're a Christian when you were born, most people are, they're a Christian or Catholic, maybe you're that. Well, that's inbred here. That's that little flower base in the door. And then whatever else was taught you, whatever else was propelled within your vibration because of your family tree. What you want in your life has to get through that door. Get past all those opinions, those vibrations in your life to allow it to get up next to you. I've had so many people tell me, said, oh, you know, let me come out there. Oh, it's got to be evil. What? Really? But they were taught that as a kid. They were taught that is what it is. I said, healing can't be evil. It doesn't come from an evil source. It comes from God's energy. So how can that be evil? Oh, God's not doing it. I said, no, I just said it came from God's source. They go, oh, it's going to be evil. Well, it's coming from God. So you can never really explain to certain people and say what it is. You can try your best to explain, but some people will not move from that center of the road. Doesn't mean you have to sit there for hours and keep explaining to them. This is how it's supposed to be. This is how it's supposed to be. No, move along. Maybe somebody else will step up behind you and talk to them for another few hours. Allow yourself to move along. Don't get yourself bogged down in situations within your life and you look around and go, oh, like that. I'm not happy. I'm not content here. Walk past it. Let it be. There's a reason why you don't feel good with something. Not because it's just you, it's your guides, it's that inner feeling. A lot of us are empaths, so we don't really recognize it or understand it, but we are empaths, and we feel the energy of a vibration, energy of a space, energy of a person, energy of a job. So we bring all this vibration within our lives, all this connection within our lives through situations within our life. Because that's what we do. And when they did this in Edna, the spiritualist camp, it was a place for people to gather, to feel spirit, to connect to the higher sense of consciousness. That's why these camps were built, because they couldn't find it at their local church, their local vibration throughout the United States. They had these camps to come to feel the energy of like minds, like individuals, like souls gathered in one space, raising the vibration. So when you're going forth this week and this week vibration, find out what works for you, what connects to you. Ask your guides. They'll talk to you. Might not be a physical talk, but they will speak to you through avenues and situations in your life. Sit and ask yourself, is there something I need to do to change my life? Then allow them to go work on that for you. But it's that vibration. I come up here to Edna. Yeah, I do work, but I come up here to regroup, rebalance, maybe go lay in front of the church in the dirt. I don't know. I might do that. I learned how to do the main wave up here. That's washing the bugs away. I learned the main wave up here is this waving back and forth. That's the main wave. Somebody said it was the wave of the car. They raised their fingers on the steering wheel. Now, main wave is to get the bugs away from you. That's the main wave. I learned how to do that. But we should learn how to do that main wave in certain things in our lives too. Just kind of wave it away. Just wave it away and move on. Don't sit there and take it on and say, oh my God, it's my cross to bear. It's my vibration wave. Who said it was yours? If it was supposed to be yours, I said here, they will move heaven and earth for you. If it was supposed to be yours, they'll move heaven and earth. If they're not moving heaven and earth, not supposed to be yours. They want you there, spirit will move you there. They'll make sure that you get there. It might not be heaven and earth right now. Maybe the timing's not right. Maybe the person you need to affect in this lifetime is not ready yet. And you're stuck somewhere feeling miserable about it, but what if the person you're supposed to really help isn't quite ready yet? Look, watch for the next door, watch for the next vibration, watch for the next situation in your life. When I do meditations, I don't do meditations and travel in the same place. I look for the next door to walk through, the next vibration to see. I want spirit to show me more. Show me more. Show me more places on the other side. Show me more. I'm always looking for the next doorway. Because I've always learned in my life that when doorways close, when they close specifically in my life, I might not be able to see the other door right away. Maybe it wasn't meant for me to see it right away, but I know there's another door. Subconsciously, I know. So that's when we allow ourselves to believe, have faith that the door is there. That's really what Spirit's listening for, is to have faith. When a medium brings through spirit, to have faith that the energy is in the room, to understand the energy around you, to trust your well-being in your life. Not mostly just to your guides, although I'm going to pray to my healing guide. My healing guide's going to heal me. Well, they can do just so much from the spirit world. You have to do something on your part. If you're drinking a fifth of whiskey a day and smoking 2 packs of cigarettes and you're eating junk food, I don't know how much spirit's going to do for you. They might be able to help you, but I don't know. So you have to make that conscious effort to change something on your behalf too. Same thing with mediumship. If you're not connecting to spirit, not connecting to the spirit world, then ask your guide. So there's something else I need to do. There's something I need to make happen. Not everybody is this clear vessel for the spirit world. Sometimes we have to use tools. We have to put things in motion in our lives to get us out of the way so we can sense spirit. But don't feel guilty because you have to use a tool. Don't feel guilty with that. Use what you need. Use what you got. Use it. And then move forward. And if you're happy with it, if you're content with the situation, then who am I or somebody else in the world or in this universe that will tell you that, oh, that's wrong. What are you doing? Oh, why? No, it works for you. Fits your vibration. And walk in that way. Because we're always either grounded or ungrounded in parts of our life. We don't stay grounded through our life. We don't stay ungrounded throughout our whole life. We do those both as vibrations. Sometimes we're grounded because we don't need a view. We're just walking the path. Sometimes we need to be ungrounded because we need to see the whole view. So different aspects of your life, you're going to get the view. You just don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss the show because you're too busy doing something you don't want to do. And that's what happens in people's lives when they connect to something. Oh, Lewis, I'm in Florida because my family's here. I said, you like your family? They go, no, I don't. Oh, I've been here 15 years taking care of them. Well, maybe you need to put them in assisted living facility and go on with your life. Maybe you need to do something in your life. If you're working in a job that doesn't quite fit you and you're miserable every single day, then start telling your guides that, hey, guys, you need to change this. I'll be happy with this for now, but you need to work on this. Because if you have a miserable job and you have thoughts of having a miserable job, when you get your new job, the job that you get will be miserable too. It will, because you were always miserable in the old job and never got past being miserable. So all that's going to attract is something more into your life. So trust that you have that connection to spirit, that connection to your higher sense of consciousness, that supportive spirit, that love that they're there for you. I've known my whole life that spirit has protected me throughout my whole life. They've gathered around me, protected me, lifted me up when I needed it, and carried me when I couldn't walk the distance. So I've known that through my whole life, and I've had faith in that. But that's only through practice. This isn't like I learned this yesterday. It's through practice of working on this, of feeling the energy. And the reason today I want to bring through Camp Etna is I wanted you to see this spiritual space. And one time in your life, you need to get to a spiritual space and immerse yourself in it. Immerse yourself in that spiritual space. I still want to get to Hawaii. I want to immerse my space on the mountains. I'll be the only one on the mountain. Like, immerse yourself somewhere in a spiritual place. Because I know we try to make our home a spiritual space, but just to get somewhere where it is spiritual, to immerse yourself in it. Oh my God, you'll never be the same. Because when I went to the Temple of the Moon, forgotten how they reorganize themselves and walk through that temple. So I have this whole connection. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. There's going the blessings from Spirit today. And maybe the energy from this space will just kind of and bring the positive energy, the positive vibration. And
thank you, Louis.
We're fixable or curable in your life, allowing it to move that energy for you. And that's why I'm part of a spiritual spiritual little node in your life, your little spiritual node. And I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. And I will be back Thursday, be back in my home with my other computer. This one I'm trying to figure out. Somebody emailed me, but I'm afraid I was going to knock everybody else off. So if you didn't get on D, I'm sorry. But I couldn't get over there and mess with that, so I'm afraid I was going to knock everybody else off the call. So thank you guys for tuning in today. But if you ever get a chance to get up here, there's Temple Heights, Camp Edna, which is out here near Bangor. There's Madison, but that's just a building now. Although the houses have been sold in Madison, but there's an opera house, a big restaurant that sits right on a large lake up here in northern. Cool places to walk, and that's where you want to get every once in a while. Just maybe just walk the beach. Maybe just walk a space that you feel comfortable and spiritual for you. Maybe you have a space in your house that you walk. Walk your space. Walk you. Do you. And you'll start attracting that positive spirits within your house and your being and around your vibration to allow you to move to a higher level. And I want to thank you guys. I'll see you guys Thursday, unless you're coming to my Come Feel the Spirit next Thursday. I'll be home. I won't be doing it next. That's right. I won't be doing it next Thursday. I'll be still on doing it next Thursday. But Friday, I have Come Feel the Spirit. So you can always come out for that if you're anywhere near Castaneda. I want to thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chris.